Guys, I need help. This is going to be me sharing more intimate thoughts of mine that I really never express quite as I feel it because I have the potential of being offensive. But also, within that offensiveness, that is an example of you saying that truth to people who don't do well with taking the truth. And that is something that I'm learning to just stop. It is what it is. You get told things just like you would expect for me to be able to take it when you tell me things. What makes you think that you cannot be on the receiving end of that, right? Well, if you guys remember, a while back, my brother was staying here. He needed help. We helped him. He tried to, I guess, get me to connect with the family because he has always been closer to them, especially my paternal side. My maternal side, I knew them well up until we left my hometown. And then after that, I lost communication because, I was a kid. My brother, though, he's always been more of a family person. So good for him, especially with the paternal side, as I mentioned. I have absolutely no relationship with my paternal side of the family. Neither with my dad, my aunts. They were like nice to me. But it's not like, wow, I'm tight with them. I share stories with them. I go years without talking to those people or hearing anything from those people. Recently, my mom went back to our hometown and she saw some of my paternal side of the family. And then, of course, she saw some of her folks. And everybody kept saying the same thing. They were like, where's Zam? What happened to Zam? And some of her friends were like, I remember that you had a daughter. Where is she? I didn't go on this trip because I didn't care to. I didn't want to. I didn't have the desire to. And for me to do a trip like that, I need to be by myself. Because unfortunately, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have a good time with mom being there. But there are things that I know she wants to handle a certain way. And I'm not interested in that. So if we're going to have two incompatible goals, how about if you go your round and then eventually I go my round? Well, truth be told, guys, the way I live my life, my situation, I cannot imagine a life in which I can go on a trip to visit my family hundreds of miles away, not even recreationally. And even if I could afford it, that's not how I want to spend my resources. Also, it's not something that I see the point to. It's not like this is going to build me up. It's not like I'm going to get help with the things that I'm doing here. Not even for recreation would I see it as a good thing, because I would be exposing myself to people who are literal strangers to me. And the more time that passes, the colder it gets. Well, I have been criticized, for the most part, from the perspective of, well, she doesn't make an effort to talk to us. She doesn't make an effort to visit us. And I'm thinking, you have my address. Why don't you visit me? Who the fuck visits me? You have my phone number. Why don't you call me? Why don't you text me? If you're really that concerned and you care so much about me, why don't you look for me? If a relationship with me matters to you so much, why don't you break the ice? Why does it have to be me? Especially when you don't know my situation, which, let me tell you, is not a very good one, because I come from nothing. I have nothing, and I'm trying to build myself up from nothing, with no one. I feel like nobody understands that about me, because nobody has gotten to get to know me. And you all think that just because I'm grown now and I have a job, that all of a sudden I have money, especially money to spend recreationally, doing things that are expensive, such as going a long distance away from home and having to take time off from my job and things like that. Especially to do something that I'm not interested in. It's not like I can say that I yearn to hang out with these people. And I'm not saying that they're bad people. I don't know them. I don't even know them well enough to have an opinion developed. But when I hear those kinds of things, like me being criticized for my decisions that I just cannot help because I live my days forgetting that you even exist, is that supposed to be enticing and motivating and seducing me into wanting to visit? So that's what I'm saying, guys. What I meant earlier about me needing your help is, tell me the truth. When you hear me say something like that, I know I haven't given you a background of how things got to this point. Just remember that the story is daddy issues, parents divorced when I was a newborn, pretty much. Never had a relationship with my dad or that side of the family. And my maternal side, we were close until we had to just move because mom had opportunities to pursue. That's just the gist of it. We spent all that time, my entire childhood, the rest of my childhood, and then my adolescence, my young adult years, my adult years, and that's not getting better. All I have known this entire time is I am alone, I am unwanted, I am not loved, I am not sought after. So if that is my reality, why would I be the one to change that? Why does it have to come from me? Why does the effort have to come from me? They're the ones asking about me and where I'm at. I'm not the one asking about them and where they are at. I don't want to make it sound like I'm just cold or resentful. Please don't think that. I just hope that by me saying this, I'm at the very fucking least understood. Because I feel like there's this weird expectation on me about the things that I'm not doing to improve the relationship with the family. And I'm thinking, bitch, I can say the same about you. What have you done to make this better? If you really care about me so much, you have my address, you have my number. Why aren't you making the move? When mom was sharing some of those things, like, oh, everybody was asking about you and they're wondering when you're coming. I'm never coming. Like, I can't. Because if I do that, that's going to cost me something. It's going to be a financial burden. Even if you were to offer to like pay for me to either drive or take a flight or whatever, I cannot do it. It's going to cost me somewhere else. Like, did you forget that I'm trying to run a small ass business that I go weeks without any activity on? Also remember that I work retail and I don't have an education. I don't have a future. I'm trying to create one for myself, by myself. So does anyone out there understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Like, do you actually understand what it means? Not just the words, not just simple vocabulary that I'm utilizing. Do you actually see the picture of what my life is? Because I feel like they don't. So that's all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for someone to respect me, understand me, and if you can, in any fucking conceivable way, support me. And one way that I appreciate support is from an emotional and mental perspective. So if you think that what I'm saying is wrong, I want to hear it from you, because I know that you guys are going to be relatively objective sources. And the reason I put it like that is because, well, you guys only get to hear my side of it, my side of the story. Unfortunately, I won't get to feature them here for them to tell you the root of what's happening from the way they see it. I can only speak out of a reaction of the things that I hear that are said about me that I know are true, because the little bit that I got to see about these people when I was little, it's like, oh, I remember that behavior about them, those things. So all I want is to be peaceful. I have been alone. You might as well continue to leave me alone in the regard of don't bother me. If you're going to help, you're welcome in my life. But if you're just going to be uberly critical about the things that I'm not doing, because that's what you value, but you cannot bring yourself to initiate that, just, what are you? You have so much time and resources in your hands, clearly, because I cannot even dream of a life in which I can afford to do that. Pick on someone who's trying to build something by herself, for herself. So, anyways, you guys, that's gonna be it for me. Maybe in the future, I'll continue to build up on it, let you guys in on a little bit more of those details, but just know that me being alone is no accident. Like, me running this channel absolutely by myself is no accident. I'm not kidding when I say I am alone. And sure, like, I have mom and she's around, but she's got her stuff to do. Like, we may live in the same edifice, but we live completely separate lives. And I'm cool with that. I'm just looking for peace, I guess, with the subject. But at some point, my critical mind is activated and I don't know how to quiet it down. I'm finding that if I share this with people who are objective, then I end up learning something. Like, well, you know what? Yeah, I could use a little bit of coolness because I can be a hothead for sure. Those little things help. It helps build me up. Just worry about yourself and be careful about the shit that you say and measure if you're being fair or if you even have a point. Because to me, they don't. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.